Hey friends, Justin here. A lightweight squeeze water filter like the Sawyer Squeeze here or the Katadyn Be is my favorite way to treat water when in the backcountry. There's a lot of different options for filters on the market out there, and it can sometimes be difficult to choose which one is best for you. One of the most important aspects for picking a filter is how fast it can actually filter water. A really slow filter might leave you wanting to smash your filter on some rocks, whereas a really fast filter will leave your friends parched with envy. Today, I'm going to test 7 of the most popular lightweight squeeze filters on the market to see which one will filter your water the fastest. And we're also going to get slightly nerdy with this because we want to see why there's a difference in filter speed between these different filters when they all essentially use the exact same technology. The 7 filters that we're going to be looking at are the Sawyer Squeeze, the Sawyer Micro, the Sawyer Mini, the brand new to market Platypus QuickDraw, the Lifestraw Flex, the Katadyn Be, and the Hydroblu VersaFlow. All 7 filters are hollow fiber membrane filters. So what that means is there's these little white tubes here that allow water to flow into and through them, but block bacteria and protozoa. And all 7 filters, they use some sort of bag or water carrying device in order to push water through the filter material and then out through the spout. We'll push some water through these 7 filters, see which one is fastest at filtering a liter of water into a smart water bottle, and then we'll start talking about why there might be differences in speed between all these different filters. Because like I said, they use the same technology, and I have taken apart some of them. I've ripped them open, sawed off different parts to see how the technology actually works, how the filter is filtering your water, and what might be getting in the way of preventing them from filtering faster. And then we'll also talk a little bit about how that might be influencing the filters getting clogged up and slowing down over time. Let's get started with our first filter, the Sawyer Squeeze. This is one of the most popular filters on the market. I'm gonna be using the Ceanoc Vecto bag here. So this is an awesome bag because it has a really wide opening at the bottom here that you can use to fill up out of a stream or other water body really easily. Nice wide opening. And then it has threads at the top here that are compatible with pretty much every filter that we're gonna be looking at today, except for I think 1, maybe 2. So I have the nozzle here. We're gonna step back and get the timer ready to go, and then start pushing water through the bag into the smart water bottle here. See how fast it takes to filter 1 liter. I am doing this as fast as I can, giving it lots of pressure here to see how fast it goes. And the Ceanoc bag is really nice because it's malleable, so it's really easy to just push water through as fast as you can. All right, so about 26 seconds, that's pretty fast. Next up, we have the Sawyer Micro here. Let's see how fast it goes. We'll start the timer. Definitely not as fast as the Squeeze. Let's round out the Sawyer filters by doing the Micro now. Start the timer. But something to keep in mind with these filters is that they use different size holes to filter out bacteria and protozoa. All the Sawyers use a 0.1 micron filter size, whereas some of the other ones use a 0.2 micron filter size, which could influence speed of filtration. Next up, we have the Lifestraw Flex. So this is interesting because it's one of those filters that has the 0.2 micron filter diameter, I guess, for the little holes that prevent bacteria and protozoa from getting through. So we'll see if that makes this faster or not. But the Flex also has a carbon filter in there. So right now we have the carbon filter installed in the filter, but it is removable. So we'll try filtering with the carbon filter in and then with the carbon filter out, see if that makes a difference. The carbon filter removes some weird taste that you might get in some water, tannins, as well as discoloration that you might encounter in water. 48 seconds with the carbon filter. And then without the carbon filter, already feels like it's going much faster and sounds like it's going much faster as well. 36 seconds without the carbon filter. Filter 5, we have the VersaFlow by Hydroblu. Start squeezing some water through. 34 seconds, not bad for the VersaFlow. Next up, we have the new kit on the market, the Platypus QuickDraw. So this has been rumored to give the Katadyn Be, the filter we're gonna test last here, a run for its money in regards to filter flow ability. So I'm gonna use it with the bag that came with the QuickDraw because it has a bit of a wider opening that I'm curious whether that can affect the flow rate. So we'll test it with this one, and we'll also test it with the Ceanoc bag just to kind of see how that goes. So we'll get the timer started here and then start pushing water through. 20 seconds. That is pretty darn quick, even with a little bit of a hiccup there. So the QuickDraw has threads on the outside of the filter that allow it to fit into that bigger opening. Then it also has threads on the inside of the casing here, which allows it to fit onto a classic thread like with the CNOC or the Smart Water bottle here. So let's see how fast this can filter. 21 seconds, so about the same, maybe a little bit slower than the other bag with that readjustment that I did. If you get a nice clean push through, then it'd probably be a little bit faster than the bag here. But interesting to see that using one or the other of the openings doesn't really make that big of a difference with the QuickDraw. Last but not least, we have the Katadyn Be free. So we're gonna use the bag that came with the Katadyn as well because it has a wider opening. And you can see that it's made to fit with the Be free filter here. So let's get that on there, get it started, see how long it takes to filter a liter. "12 seconds. 12 seconds to filter that. CNOC also makes a bag that works with the Katadyn Be free, so it has a wider opening here. So let's see whether that makes the Be free any faster or slower. That took 10 seconds, so a little bit faster with the CNOC bags. I think you can just get a little bit more pressure going through the filter. So let's now talk about why there's a difference in speed between all these filters. As you can see, the Be free with the CNOC bag took the field by a long shot at only taking 10 seconds to filter a liter of water. The QuickDraw by Platypus was almost double that amount of time with 20 seconds. After that, you have the old reliable Sawyer Squeeze at 27 seconds. And then everything else is just way behind that, with the VersaFlow being next at 34 seconds and other ones being in the 30s or 40 seconds. So definitely the three fastest: Be free, QuickDraw, and Sawyer Squeeze. But why was there such a big difference in filter flow for even the three fastest filters? There's almost a 10-second difference between all three of these, even though they're using the same technology with that hollow fiber filter material. And I have four kind of theories, I guess, as to what is impacting the flow rate for these filters. The first one being how quickly the water can get to that filter material. The Be free is a perfect example of this. It was the fastest filter, and you can see that those filter fibers are essentially open to any water that's coming in and around them. The other filters like the QuickDraw and the Sawyer Squeeze here, they have openings that constrict water flow to those filter fibers. You can see it's a little bit more open with the QuickDraw here, and then a little bit more constricted with the Squeeze. Some of the slowest filters like the Sawyer Mini here have an even narrower opening at the end here that you can see that's really constricting water flow to those filter tubes. My second theory is that the tubes might all be different sizes. So once the water gets through the filter material into those tubes, then it gets pushed out through the ends of the tubes that you can see at the end of the filter here. So this is the QuickDraw here, and then you can screw on the end, and that's the cap there that you're pushing water through. So the water comes out of these tubes at the end here. And my theory is that if these tubes are bigger, then you're gonna be able to have more flow through them. But I can't actually tell whether any of these tubes are bigger or smaller than the other ones. So that is kind of just a theory at this point, and I'm gonna reach out to brands and see if that's actually something that may be influencing flow rate. My third theory is that there might be just more tubes in some filters than other ones. So that can kind of be estimated by the diameter of the tube bundle at the end here. So all the tubes are folded over each other and then constricted at the end. And the more tubes are, generally the wider the diameter of the opening here, and you're gonna get more flow if there's more tubes and more surface area for water to flow through. And then my fourth theory is that the length of the tubes influences the filter flow through rate. So you can see here we have the Sawyer Micro and then the Sawyer Squeeze. And essentially with the Sawyer Squeeze, the filter material goes all the way from this end to that end, and then with the Sawyer Micro, you can see it goes just from there to there. So the Sawyer Squeeze has almost double the length of tubing, which increases the amount of surface area for that filter material, and in my opinion is probably one of the big reasons why the Squeeze filters quite a bit faster than the Micro. So I'm not sure which of those things is influencing filter speed the most, but it seems like the Be free has the best of all four of those things. It has a lot of filter tubes. They're very long, providing a lot of surface area. The filter tubes are really well exposed to any water that's being pushed through. And then there's also a lot of filter tubes just based on how many there are from a diameter perspective at the end here. That being said, the Be Free has a reputation, along with the Sawyer Micro, of clogging up really quickly with very minimal use. I've known people who have used both these for maybe a week or two and have had them clog up on them. I'm not 100% sure if that is user error or not. With the Be Free, I'm kind of leaning towards it being user error or just really dirty water, because I've been using the Be Free for a year now and haven't had any problems with it clogging up. With the Micro here, I think its issue is that it just doesn't have a lot of surface area for the tubing here. So with the taken apart Micro, you can see just not a lot of surface area, and they're pretty tightly bound in there. So I think it's really easy for them to get overloaded with a lot of sediment or material in the water, and then that slow it down very, very quickly. I am still very interested into why filters slow down, how they clog up, what's influencing that. I want to get really in depth into this. If that's a video that you guys would be interested in seeing, then leave a comment below. In the meantime, go check out a video I did about gear that surprised me, and it was gear I really didn't expect to perform well, but ended up performing phenomenally, and the Katadyn Be Free is one of those pieces of gear.